What a car. Hey crew, I've got the key to that 23 Toyota GR Corolla Core model. We are going to take it for a drive, but first let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. Up front, the face is dominated by this giant grille opening with functional cooling, including brake ducts, and then we have these slots on either side of the Toyota badge. There are LED projector headlights with LED DRLs and turn signals. Then down low are functional corner vents. This paint job is called Supersonic Red. It's got a nice metallic flake on the paint surface, and it just pops in the sunlight. At the side, Core and Circuit models get these gloss black 18-inch alloy wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tires, 235 section front and rear. Within those wheels are red painted 4-piston calipers clamped on slotted rotors. There's more functional aero here, GR badge, gloss black mirror caps, GR4 badge on the extended side sills. And on the Core model, you get a body color roof, unlike the Circuit Edition's carbon fiber one. Stepping back to look at the profile, I like those wheels, but without the Circuit Edition's extended rear wing, it looks a little pedestrian. Too much like the standard Corolla hatchback, at least until you get to the back and you see these giant over fenders, which unlike the front fenders are not integrated in the body. They took the wide body Hellcat approach and just said, there you go. There are LED taillights with incandescent turn signals and a black plastic lower bumper with 3 exhaust ports that, unlike the Civic Type R, which clusters them all in the middle, these are spread out. I like the chunkiness of the rear, but the overall design is a bit too tuner car-esque for me. What do you guys think? Is this better or worse looking than the new Civic Type R? Let me know in the comments, and let's check out the interior. Opening up and looking inside at this black interior with fabric seats on the Core model that have some contrast stitching. On the doors, it's hard plastics high and low with just a bit of fabric padding for your arm and an integrated cup holder. Stepping in is pretty easy to do. Behind my own seat at 6 feet tall, I've got just a little bit of leg room. There are no map pockets. The foot pockets are decent to slap my feet under, but thigh support is lacking. Headroom. My head does clear the roof with a little bit of space, so that gets the thumbs up from me. There are no air vents in the middle or on the sides. You do have a 1 USB-C port and 1 DC outlet to share. The draft shaft dump is large, but the real issue for getting into the middle is this narrow alley. But you can do it, and my head does clear the roof. The issue being that there isn't a lot of space on the left and right hand sides of me for other adults. So if you want adults back here, just keep it to 2. If you don't have a middle passenger also, then there's an armrest that comes down with 2 cup holders and some padding. So it's just the bare necessities, the simple bare necessity. Door close noise. Little pop to it, but not bad at all given the price. Smart keyless entry is for the front 2 doors. These front seats have the GR logos on them and some solid bolstering. Once again, they are fabric and manually adjusting. We have the optional carpeted floor mats with GR Corolla on them and our 3 pedals with aluminum fascias on the doors. Same materials as the back. We do have 1 power, 1 touch up-down window for the driver, power adjusting, not power folding door mirrors, and this one with the tech package adds an 8-speaker JBL sound system. No trunk release, or hatch rather, so you got to do it manually. And inside, we find 17.8 cubic feet of space. Not bad, with these deep cubbies on either side. The floor is kind of high, but it creates a flat surface. And underneath that, we find our battery and just a little bit of storage. You can fold down the rear seat 60/40 by reaching in and pulling up on those tabs. And I suppose that is one of the perks of having a small vehicle, that you can actually reach those. You just may have to remove the cargo cover. There are 2 handles to pull down the hatch. You just have to give it a good firm tug. Don't worry, that rattle was my license plate cover. In the front seats, which are so easy to get in, I love that. We've got a leatherette wrapped steering wheel with contrast stitching and GR Corolla logo on the bottom. Lots of buttons on the wheel to control various things, including the reconfigurable digital instrument cluster. We've got soft touch injection molding up on the dashboard, and then an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system that's running the latest Toyota software, so it's responsive. The graphics are pretty sharp. It's fairly easy to use. It does often, actually all the time, tell you that you need to purchase navigation though, so that's annoying. It does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, along with a physical volume knob, a single zone of auto climate control, lots of gloss black up here, and all throughout the console area to collect dust, smudge, and scratch. Wireless smartphone charging pad with a tech pack, USB-C port, 6-speed manual gear selector with a leather-wrapped shift boot, and a manual handbrake. Bring these back with contrast stitching. Nice. Your power split is there, 2 cup holders, and without a console, you just have this textured pad to store your wallet, I suppose. Visibility is good, and there's standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic. So while the cabin may not be abounding in space or amenities, and though a lot of the materials are cheaper, it does check the boxes. So let's go take the GR Corolla Core for a drive. All right, let's fire it up. It's a heavy kickstart and then a pretty seriously deep idle from that 4-cylinder. There's our warning about navigation, and our drive mode select is here, so we'll begin in the normal mode. Our power split at this moment is 60 front, 40 rear, and you can change that up with this dial to go 50-50 or 30 front and 70 rear. To go into reverse, pull up on the inner ring over to the left and up. That brings up a kind of low resolution backup camera. You don't have trajectory lines. Down on the manual handbrake. And let's back on out. Into first. And let's begin with a turning radius test. Really nice and tidy. It's a small wheelbase, so that helps, but it is 4-driven wheels. You'd think it might be larger than that, but it just maneuvers so nicely. Turn signal sound. Is just relaxing as turn signals go. And we'll wait for this car to pass to do the world famous horn test. Here goes. Ooh. Little dinky thing. I'm also going to turn on the rev match feature just to experience that. And let's talk powertrain. The GR Corolla is powered by a 1.6 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder that makes 300 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque in both the Core and Circuit editions. If you go with the track-focused Morizo, then that ups the torque to 295 pound-feet. Either way, the only gearbox you are allowed to choose is the right one. It's the 6-speed manual. And what a peach this gearbox is. The throws are short and notched neatly into place. Tons of communication there. The clutch pedal is a longer travel, but a distinct engagement point. This is just a very easy manual to drive. And if this is your first performance vehicle, this is going to be a great way to become very proficient with manual setups. In normal mode, the throttle response is at ease, but with peak torque coming in from just 3,000 RPM, you don't have to wait a very long time at all for the boost to build up and you to get really into some surging power. Easy to modulate for daily driving situations, that's for sure. The ride quality is on the bumpier side. These are sport-tuned springs. You do have additional chassis stiffening compared to the standard Corolla hatchback, and you feel that. You sort of bound over road imperfections. But the impacts are not harsh, and these seats are so crazy comfortable that the bumps don't really seem to bother you. The ride in the GR Corolla is a little, though not a lot, better than the Honda Civic Type R. We should see about the acceleration next with a real-world 0 to 60 test. So with my race box set up here, I'm moving into the sport drive mode. I'm hitting the track button to put the power split at 50-50, and then I'm hitting the traction control button once, and there is no launch control, so we'll see how good I can get this launch off the line. 5.91 seconds is not great. I am going to fault myself for that, but 5.91 seconds to 60 is about 0.9 of a second slower than independent tests have seen for this car. Now, we're not on a prep surface, and we were taking off from a slight uphill, but it's going to be user error for that. What I did feel was zero loss of traction out of the hole, and a nice surge of that torque as we tore away from the stoplight. And that continues in the mid-range where peak torque holds on until 5,500 RPM. So if you find yourself in that sweet spot, saddle up, because the GR Corolla will get ripping. And I like that raspy rumble, along with the blow-off noise. Listen to the cutoff. And all of these noises, the exhaust, the blow-off, the rumble, it gives you this sense of theater to the car that helps put a smile on your face in addition to the sheer velocity. And the steering is wonderful. The resistance builds nicely through a curve. The car tracks great. The gearbox is smooth. And the fun is brimming through this driving experience. And as we move into a more tight and technical environment, this is a great time to mention that this core model has the performance package. So we don't have open differentials. We've got front and rear torsion limited slips to help us put the power down. And when I turn this dial to the right, that's going to put the torque split at 30 front, 70 rear, allowing you to do fun things like sling the back around. The brakes bite in nicely. And the car does rotate. Though even back in the track modes 50-50, I don't get understeer here. I just have really nice neutral handling. Lovely turn in and playfulness. The GR Corolla honestly drives lighter than its 3,252 pounds suggests. The way you can just flick it, the way it effortlessly scrubs speed, where you can feel like you could just grab it by the scruff of the neck and chuck it through corners. It makes you want to do this kind of stuff all day. car. And that'll lead us right into the miles per hour word of the day, which for the 23 GR Corolla is jovial, meaning hearty, joyous humor. That is the driving experience of this car. You are filled with hearty, joyous humor every time you hop behind the wheel, and especially if you can find yourself a good road. And before we talk pricing and competition, let's review the top speed and fuel economy of this vehicle. The top speed is 143 miles per hour, and the fuel economy is 21 in the city, 28 on the highway, and 24 combined when you're not driving like this. And now for the dreaded, what's all that going to cost you? The core model starts at $36,995. The Circuit Edition is $43,995. And the Morizo is $50,995. There's a big but to the core model's price. I like big butts. Sorry. It is that you could not, for your sanity, consider getting the core without getting the performance package equipped to this car. It's $1,180, so it barely raises the price, and it completely transforms the performance. So really, just consider the core model to be around $38,000, okay? Competitors include the Honda Civic Type R, the latest FL5 generation that starts at $38,900. That makes 306 horsepower. It gets to 60 in 4.8 seconds, has fuel economy of 25 combined mpg. And then the Volkswagen Golf R. You know what? Let's go into Eco Drive mode and let's activate the adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist. It's great you have these things on a manual equipped car. Awesome. Volkswagen Golf R starts at the most expensive $44,000. It makes 315 horsepower. It gets to 60 in the quickest 4.7 seconds. And the fuel economy is 23 combined mpg. Amidst those vehicles, yes, the core model with the performance pack is still the cheapest, though not by much compared to the Civic Type R. The ride is not the best. The Volkswagen Golf R has the best ride. The exterior styling and the interior are probably the GR Corolla's biggest faults because, as I said before, it looks a bit too tuner car-esque and the interior is fairly cramped. The Volkswagen Golf R is going to be the most mature-looking vehicle while also being the quickest to 60. The best driving dynamics are a tie. It's between this and the Civic Type R. Both are amazing while both being different flavors of fun. And so it comes down to probably logic, and I hate to say that when you're buying something in this segment, but logic would dictate that the new Civic Type R has done a full 180 and it is now among the better looking hot hatchbacks you can buy while having a very spacious cabin. So I'd probably go Civic Type R. It's not a big win. It's such a small win. And if you buy the GR Corolla, you will be so happy. But you may not be as proud seeing it in your driveway. I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV drive review, and I'm curious which one you would choose. Would you go GR Corolla? Would you do Civic Type R? Would you do Volkswagen Golf R? Let me know in the comments. And if you did enjoy this video, please like, comment, and share. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to get notified. And I'll see you next time.